Hello, awesome students! This is going to be an amazing semester. Let me start it off by telling you a little bit more about family law. The first question which we must ask ourselves is what is meant by the concept family for the purpose of family law. Now, in its most basic sense, family usually is depicted as a group of people related by blood or marriage. In a wider sense, it can however include people who are not necessarily related by blood or marriage, for instance, persons who are cohabiting or living together, or children who have been adopted. It is very important to know who falls within the definition of family, because it determines whose relationships will be governed by the rules of family law. Families in South Africa come in many different shapes and sizes. There are, for instance, nuclear families that consist of married parents and their children, single-parent families, blended families with step-parents and step-children, extended families, polygamous families in terms of customary law, where the husband is allowed to have more than one wife, same-sex families, unmarried families, and even child-headed households, or families where the child over the age of 16 assumes the role of caregiver in respect of the other children in the household. Think of your own family and decide how you would describe it. It is clearly very difficult to provide a single precise definition of family. Because it is so difficult to define what family is, it is equally difficult to define the precise scope of family law. Now let us turn to the meaning of the concept law in the context of family law. The term law indicates that we are concerned with the legal relationship between family members and not the emotional, social, and economic welfare of families. It should, however, be acknowledged that the law is impacted and, in turn, has an impact on a person and a family's emotional, social, and economic circumstances. But the law determines what the rights, duties, and obligations of the family members are. For instance, the rights and duties of spouses, or the responsibility of parents in respect of their children. Let us consider some of the objectives of family law. These objectives explain some of the reasons why the state would want to regulate the relationship between family members. The first objective is protection. By regulating the relationship between spouses, the law seeks to protect spouses, especially the most economic or financially vulnerable spouses, who are usually the wives. The second objective is the promotion of fairness and equality. For example, by obliging spouses to maintain each other during marriage, and by directing an equitable distribution of assets when the marriage comes to an end. The third objective is the promotion of legal certainty and predictability. For instance, spouses will know beforehand, based on the matrimonial property system which they have chosen, how their assets will be distributed at death or divorce. Family law is also instrumental in creating a value system for our society. Past inequalities must make way for values of dignity, equality, and respect for diversity in accordance with the requirements dictated by the Constitution. Lastly, family law also has a symbolic function. When the law decides to recognize a particular family form, it sends a powerful message that this family is legitimate, valuable, and worthy of the law's acknowledgement and protection. After this very brief introduction to family law, you are now ready to start with the first theme. You should now go back to your task list to ascertain which tasks must be completed for this week. The ideal order in which you should complete these tasks have been provided. You should ideally now go and read your prescribed material before moving on to listen to the main PowerPoint presentation.